Welcome back, guys. So in the previous video, we described how the selection mode using if statement is done and how the algorithm, how MATLAB will select basically the valid condition and do the block of commands under it. Now in this video, we'll start a very simple example where I have a function y of x, and this y of x is defined for different intervals of x. The objective is to write the script in MATLAB and to take x from the user and then to calculate the y that corresponds to this x. So let's do it on the script. So basically, guys, I'm going to start my script with CLC clear all, and then I'm going to ask the user. So by using import, you can ask the user to give you the value of x. So basically, x should be equal to import, give me the value of x, or enter the value of x, or whatever you want between quotation. And then after finding x, I should find the y that corresponds to this x. However, I know that this y depends on certain conditions. So what I should do, I should start my if. If what? Basically, if x, the first condition is when x is greater or equal to 9. So if x is greater or equal to 9, then in this case, y is equal to 15 times square root of 4 times x plus 10. This is the first y, alright? So in this case, guys, if x is greater than 9, then y is equal to 15 times sqrt for x plus 10. I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think? Why there is a red line under if, and we know that the red line means that there is an error? Basically, whenever you use if, you should have an and. Since I did not write and yet, so MATLAB will give me an error. Whenever you write and at the end of this if, MATLAB will relate this and to this if, and then this error will vanish. Alright, so you can wait a little bit, write down your else if and else, and then enter your and then you will not see this red line. Or you can start by if and then fill between them. Then the second condition is when x is between 0 and 9. How to write this? Basically, since I don't know how to write this until now, I'm gonna skip this condition and I'm gonna do this one. If x is less than 0. So the second condition is if x is less than 0, and I know that the second condition should start by else if. Alright, else if without a space means that you are now putting the second condition. So if x is less than 0, then in this case, y should be equal to 10 times x plus 10. Alright? Now guys, the third condition is basically if x is between this line and this 0. So basically this is else, because I know that else means anything else. Alright? So basically this is the else, and in this case y is equal to 10 times x plus 10. Alright? Sorry, this y is equal to 10. I'm sorry. Alright, so this y here is equal to 10 when x is less than 0. So guys, this is basically the script. Now I can run it, I can save it, of course. So I'm gonna call it if beginner. And then guys, MATLAB is asking me to give the value of x. I'm gonna say that this is, let's say, in this interval between 0 and 9, so I'm gonna take 7. And then in your workspace, you can see your y, so now your y is 80. Of course, guys, you can put here a \n so that you can go to the next line whenever you run this code. So like this, give me the value of x and go to the next line. So let's see, the value of x is minus 10. So basically this should be 10. Y should be 10 because I know that if x is negative, y should be 10. Now let's take a value that is greater than 9. So let's say 10, and then as you can see, it is 104.8, which is this one, y15 15 sqrt4x plus 10. Now guys, what if I want to write x between 0 and 9, like this one. X is between 0 and 9. How to do this? Basically, guys, the first thinking is that I can say this one, 0 less than X less than 9. Is this true? It is not. It is not true. We will see why. Let's take the value of 10. 10 is not between 0 and 9. Now what if I put this relational operator and I click enter? I know, guys, that if this relational operator is valid, which means here X is between 0 and 9, this should give me a non-zero value. If it is not valid, the answer should be 0. Now, as you can see, the answer is 1, which means it is valid, although X is not between 0 and 9. So how come? How can this happen? How come this relational operator gives me 1 while X is not in the interval of 0 and 9? Basically, guys, this is not how to write down this interval. Or this is not how to show my condition of X is greater than 0 and X is less than 9. In fact, guys, if MATLAB want to execute this command as it did here, MATLAB will start from left to right. So first of all, MATLAB will check this condition. Is 0 is less than X? Yes, basically 0 is less than X because 10 is greater than 0. So the answer of 0 less than X is 1. And this answer 1 will be compared to 9. So this answer, the answer of the relational operator 0 is less than X will be compared to 9. And that's why you have an answer of 1. Because yes, 1 is less than 9. This is how MATLAB executes this command. Now, if I'm gonna do this using elseif, if I'm gonna make this, or if I'm gonna check if this X is in this interval, basically I'm gonna say X is greater than 0 and X is less than 9. So why I'm using two ands? Because my operands are two logical statements. Or you can take it as simple as that. Whenever you use if, else if, for, you should in the statement, or while, you should in the statement use two ands or two ors. Now here, I have to make sure that X is greater than 0 and X is less than 9. So that's why I'm using an and. So basically, guys, you can try it here. I know that X is equal to 10. Alright? So if I do this, X is greater than 0, and so now I can use one and because in fact here I don't have if X is less than 9, then you can see, guys, that your answer is 0 because 10 is not between 0 and 9. So this is the valid format of checking if X lies in an interval. So basically, guys, here what I did is to remove this else and to put else if. However, this will give me the same answer because here I know that this condition right here is else. Is anything else, because if X is greater than 9, if X is less than 0, then the remaining X should be between 0 and 1. So you can use this. So if you run it now and you put, let's say, 10, you will have Y as the first one. And if you run it another time and you put X as 7, which means this one, so of course should be 80 because it is 70 plus 10, which is 80. So guys, in this video, we learned how to use if, else, and else, or if, else, if, and we learned how to write the correct format of the relational operator if I want to check if a value or a variable lies in an interval. Thank you.